The Black Friday train keeps on chugging, and today we're looking at 13 amazing deals on the PlayStation Store Black Friday sale. I have a couple of other videos up about the Black Friday sale, easiest platinum trophies, games under 10 bucks. Go and check those ones out. Let's dive in and have a look at these 13 games. Welcome back, folks. If you're a new viewer of the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I make new videos like this every single day on the channel, looking at the latest PlayStation trophy deals news. It's kind of a bit of a one-stop PlayStation shop these days. Today we're taking a look at the Black Friday PlayStation Store sale. This is an awesome sale. It has some banger deals on it. Here are 14 of the best deals that you can pick up. Number one is Assassin's Creed Origins. This one has been out for a number of years now. It's obviously not the newest Assassin's Creed game, but this is the game that kind of changed the entire Assassin's Creed franchise from the old school way that the game's played to this new sort of almost RPG action-adventure game style. Enormous open world that is literally going to take you hours and hours to complete and play through, with some fantastic content, and honestly it still holds up really well today. A lot of people say this is the best of the new Assassin's Creed games, and I'm kind of inclined to agree, although I haven't played any Valhalla, so I don't know about that one. This is $13.99 on the Black Friday sale. It's less than 15 bucks for this game, which is just, it's so worth it at that price. Highly recommend checking it out. Also, this is the deluxe edition, so it comes with some bonus content as well. Great price, great game, check it out. Next up we have Ghost Runner, and the price of this one is a little bit higher. It's $22.49, but the thing that's interesting about this game is that it only came out like 2 weeks ago. It's a brand new game that launched on the PlayStation Store not long ago. It's a first-person stealth cyberpunk looking game. The game reminds me of a mixture of, I guess, Cyberpunk, which isn't even out yet, and Dishonored as like a first-person sort of stealth action game. The game is, like I said, $22.49, so it's 25% off on the PlayStation Store sale. Literally just came out. Came out to really positive reviews as well. You can see the gameplay playing now. Game looks really, really cool. And it's just awesome that this has been discounted so quickly after the initial launch of it. I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing actually, now that I think about it. But I mean, it's good for us gamers. It's literally the same situation with this next game, and I picked this one up because I was keen on it at launch and I couldn't afford it. Star Wars Squadrons. This is the remake of the original Squadrons game from was it the N64? No, the SNES, right? Way back in the day. Anyway, it's a remake of an old game. This is $23.99 at the moment, down from 40 bucks. 40% off, so almost half price on a game that came out at the beginning of last month. Great deal on this one. I haven't played this one personally, but I did pick this one up in the sale because of that price. Obviously, like, if you're into Star Wars ship combat or Star Wars in any way, then this is going to be a game that should appeal to you. Reviews for this game were super positive when it launched. The game looks fantastic. You can see the gameplay now. The game looks really, really well polished and well designed. I'm guessing it didn't probably do as well as maybe they'd hoped, given next-gen hype was kind of kicking off when this game launched, and the price might have been a little bit higher than it should have been for a game of this kind of style and this kind of game at this point in the generation. Great that it's seeing maybe a second wind potentially now as it's discounts. Probably the newest game on our list is Watchdogs Legion. This one came out literally less than 2 weeks ago as well, at the very end of it's probably a little bit longer than that now actually. It's been time flies. This one is 40 bucks at the moment, $40.19, so it's 33% off on the store sale. Watchdogs Legion being the third Watchdogs game in the franchise, so essentially Watchdogs 3, set in London, third-person open-world action game. Think of Assassin's Creed, but instead of being past times, it's future times. It's always kind of, that's the way I've always approached it, future Assassin's Creed, essentially. Watchdogs Legion, you play as everyone. There is no single protagonist. You kind of play as anyone you want. Your job is to hack things and stop things being hacked. It's, I don't know, the story is kind of convoluted, but really fun open world action game essentially. And one bonus feature of this is if you own a PlayStation 5, purchasing this game in its current state at 40 bucks will get you a free upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version, which you can play if you have a PS5 now, or you can play later when you get a PS5 in the future. So win. Probably one of my favorite games that came out this generation is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. This is a remake of Crash Team Racing and Crash Nitro Kart for the PlayStation 4. This game This game has so much content in it. They added content for literally 12 months after the launch of this game, with monthly DLC drops of new tracks, new characters, to the point where I think they added an entire new game into this game with DLC content and with additional content into it. If you played Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation 1 back in the day, or Nitro Kart on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, you're going to love this game and this experience. If you like Crash Bandicoot in any way, shape, or form, I mean, this is a no-brainer. The game is $13.99. It's 65% off. I don't believe I've seen Crash Nitro Fueled this cheap on the PlayStation Store yet. Great deal. Highly worth checking out. This was easily one of my favorite games that came out in 2019, if not one of my favorite games that has launched on the PlayStation 4 period. Amnesia Rebirth was a horror game, obviously a sequel to Amnesia, the PC cult classic. First-person horror survival game, or maybe horror action game, is probably more apt for this one. You can see here in the gameplay it's been really, really polished compared to the original Amnesia. Obviously they optimized this probably for PC, but it has been developed with consoles in mind this time, whereas I think the original, that probably wasn't true. This is a really scary game. I saw it trending on Twitch a ton last month for October when it came out. Obviously a lot of people playing it during the spooky month, which I guess kind of makes sense. And it's already 25% off on the PlayStation Store as well. I actually picked this one up today on the sale too, because it's $22.49. It's a good deal for a game that was $30 like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Spyro Reignited, similar to Crash, is $13.99. This is 65% off. The thing that makes this one so much more special is this has 3 games in it. I don't know why I'm holding up 5 fingers. 3 games in it: Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, or whatever it is in other countries, and then Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. 3 games, 3 platinum trophies, 3 phenomenal games as well, and pretty straightforward platinum trophies to boot. So keep that in mind if you're going for easy plats. Really worth it at this price. You're paying basically nothing for this game, and you're going to get a bunch of content out of it as well. If you played the original Spyro games on the PS1, you know he's a mascot platformer. Worth your time. That's really all there is to it. Absolutely worth your time. A Way Out was probably my favorite co-op game that came out on the PlayStation 4. It's got this really unique premise where it's focused on narrative-driven gameplay. So it's this narrative between these 2 characters. You play as one or the other, and the screen is split down the middle. Even if you're playing online with your friends, you can still see your buddy's screen. Kind of like a screen cheat situation, but you can watch these 2 sort of bits of gameplay and narrative play out on a single monitor, and it's a really neat way of telling a story like this that no other game has done before. Fantastic to play co-op. I don't think you can play the game non-co-op. The cool part about it is that if you own it, you don't have to have your buddy buy the game. They can download a free version of the game on the store, and then you send them your sort of key that pops up in your game, and then you guys can play together without both you needing to purchase the game, which is a really user-friendly thing that EA doesn't often do, and it's kind of a surprise that it's an EA published game. $10.49, 65% off on the PlayStation Store. Another great game for PlayStation 5 owners is Control Ultimate Edition. This is 50% off. This is Control plus all of its additional content and DLC, so it works out to be $19.99. Now, presently, there is no upgrade for Control on PS5, but they are working on the PS5 version of the game, and they've said if you own Ultimate Edition on the PS4, you will get that upgrade for free on the PlayStation 5. So if you buy this now, you'll be able to play it on PS5 later as a PS5 enhanced version for free. So worth that alone, just given the price. If you were to buy Control and all of its DLC separate to this, you'd be paying way more than $19.99 at this point. Control was a game that came out last year, I believe, and it was kind of a sleeper game. It didn't get as much attention as it absolutely should have. Really neat third-person action suspense game made by Remedy, the same developers who worked on Alan Wake. You guys might remember that. Narrative-driven, suspense-driven game. Very cool stuff they're doing here with gravity and shooting mechanics and powers. It's a really neat thing to check out. I absolutely recommend this one, and for 50% off at $19.99, this is a steal. This is a really good deal. So probably something that's a little bit left field for a list like this, but Hunt Showdown. This is a game I've been playing religiously at the moment. I play it over on Twitch about 3 times a week now. I'm super addicted to this game. It's a first-person, I don't even know, first-person open world multiplayer co-op game. I don't know, it's so hard to explain. You play as a hunter, you have to go after these bounties, and that's kind of the main objective of the game. The world is filled with zombies and stuff like that, but then in the world as well are other hunters and other players, and there's kind of this battle royale aspect to the game too, where you can choose to hunt the NPCs and do those objectives, or you can hunt the other players. There's just so much variety and gameplay in here. It's an awesome game. It's well worth checking out. The game looks beautiful as well. It's developed by Crytek, it's running on CryEngine. Those games always look phenomenal, and I've been playing it over on PlayStation 5 lately, and it just runs so well on PlayStation 5. It runs so perfectly. Hunt Showdown is currently $20, $19.99, 50% off on the PlayStation Store. I cannot recommend this game enough. Probably I don't want to say it's my favorite game that I've played this year because I feel like I'm putting myself in a box, but I think it's a contender for my favorite game that I've played this year. That's the truth. Kind of regret saying that now because the next game is Ghost of Tsushima, and I have really strong feelings about that game as well. I think this is another really underrated game that came out this year. It's definitely on my list of the best games I've played this year, if not one of the best games that came out this entire generation. The game not only looks stunning, but it just feels phenomenal to play. It's so much fun. The gameplay is fluid. It just works so well. It's a really great game. Probably a great way to end the PlayStation 4 generation of exclusives as well. This is 33% off. It's $40.19. This is the cheapest Ghost of Tsushima has been on the PlayStation Store as far as I can tell. I don't know if it's going to get cheaper again towards Christmas. Sometimes that happens, but I would say it's worth picking this one up now on the PlayStation Store if you've been holding off playing this game. If you're looking for a really solid AAA game that came out this year that's going to be just worth bang for your buck, this is absolutely worth it. They also recently added in a multiplayer mode to this game for free as well, which runs perfectly too. It's funny, they managed to make one of the best single player games and one of the best multiplayer games completely independent of each other in a year that everyone was expecting Last of Us to be the best game. So it's you know, hats off to Sucker Punch for doing this. I haven't even explained the game. Open world, third-person samurai game. Gameplay is very akin to most Sony games where you play highly narrative-driven gameplay that switches between narrative cutscenes and gameplay really seamlessly. Great experience. One of the contenders for Game of the Year this year, I'm sure. So well worth checking out. Crash 4, it's about time. Game's only been out for about a month or so as well. Maybe 2 months at this point. It's currently 35% off, so this is the first time it's been discounted as well. $38.99. If you played any Crash games in the past, this is a must for you. Obviously, if you're a Crash fan, I'm a massive Crash Bandicoot fan. I can't believe this game exists in 2020. It takes everything that the original Crash games did so well and enhances them and improves on them in like every single way. Honestly, I think this is the best Crash Bandicoot game that's ever been made. That's, I know, a massive claim, but I really do believe it. I've been talking about Crash for way too much of this year, so I don't want to harp on about it. Great deal for this game. Absolutely worth checking out. I've said that about almost every game on this list, but it is true because there's so many great deals on this list. And the last game we're going to be talking about today is Last of Us Part 2. Now, this game I know has been discounted a couple of times this year. It's now 50% off, so it's $29.99. This is the cheapest I've seen it, I believe. I don't think it's been any cheaper than this. It's $30 on the PlayStation Store. You know what you're getting in this one. Whether you loved the story of The Last of Us Part 2 or you hated it, you can't deny what they did here in terms of game development and just an overall game design on the PlayStation 4. They really pushed the limits of what the PlayStation 4 could do in terms of just game design in general, I would say. This is a fantastic game, even if you don't particularly like the story or what happens in there. I know there's a lot of controversy with The Last of Us, so I don't want to talk about that. I don't want this video to become that, but $30, love it or hate it, you know, it's a good deal for this game, and not worth sleeping on if you've been holding off picking this one up. I would say form your own opinion on it. That's all I would say. Anyway, there you go. That is 13 phenomenal deals on the PlayStation Store. Like I said, I have a couple of other videos about the Black Friday sale, either out on the channel now or coming out over the next day or so. We've got one up already looking at $10 games, and we've got one coming up tonight looking at the easiest platinums available in the sale. So check those out if you're wanting some more awesome deals from the Black Friday sale. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're a new viewer, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to like or dislike, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!